always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. My name is Sarah and I'll be your host for this episode. Welcome to another episode of Entertainment News, and I hope that you have had a wonderful weekend. It is drawing to a close, but I hope it was nice, I hope it was relaxing, and I hope you did something fun and enjoyable. I did something, well, it wasn't necessarily fun and enjoyable, but it was worth it. I mean, it was necessary. I pulled weeds this morning, which, you know, you got to do. You got to go battle those weeds, but then it's never fun for me to battle the ensuing asthma that comes with that. My allergies are fairly well under control with the lovely cocktail that I take. Don't worry. It's from my doctor. It's not a real cocktail. It's my allergy regimen, but still get asthma. So I say all of that just to say, if I sound a little wheezy in this episode, I do apologize. I will try not to breathe too heavily into the microphone, but I can't make any promises, but I'll do my best. So we are here to talk about some of the latest news coming out of the entertainment world. We're going to start off with a story on the heavier side of things, and that is that R. Kelly, once again, is in the news. He was charged with 11 additional felony counts of sexual abuse on Thursday, including some that carry a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison. The new charges, according to CBS News, against Kelly, who is 52, stem from the sexual abuse of Joanna Pace, then a minor that allegedly took place in 2010. Pace told her story of alleged abuse in a docuseries called Surviving R. Kelly. The charges include 4 counts of aggravated criminal sex assault, 3 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse of a victim between the ages of 13 and 16, 2 counts of criminal sex assault by force, and 2 counts of aggravated criminal sex abuse, according to court records. In a Facebook post on Thursday, Pace said the abuse charged against Kelly are related to her case. No matter how wrong you think I am, the law is on my side, a minor at the time, she wrote. So this case just continues to go on. In February, Kelly did turn himself in to Chicago police after he was charged with 10 counts of sexual abuse, which involve 4 women, some of them minors. He said on CBS this morning that the allegations against him were all lies, but the singer does remain free on $1 million bond. He's due back in court next Thursday. So things continue to pile up against him. Just reporting those new charges against him and see how all of this plays out. It's definitely been ongoing. I mean, it seems like he has been in the news for a very, very long time, and it all seems to be related to this type of behavior. So just see where this new round of allegations may take this case. Just wanted to touch briefly on that. It is a heavier topic, and don't want to drag the podcast down too much, but did need to make note of that news. We're going to move on to some lighter topics, still in the music side of things, and that is, have you seen the pictures of Taylor Swift's the outfit that she wore to kick off Pride Month? It's fabulously fabulous. It's rainbow colors. There's fringy, tassel-y things there. It's so bright. She looks like a parrot. I don't know if that's what she was going for, but she definitely looks off a parrot. She definitely looks like a parrot. She is wearing rainbow short shorts and a crop top, but then over the crop top, she's also wearing Well, yeah, it is a crop top, but it's over what looks like what is a corset. So it's like a cropped jacket with fringe on the sleeves, and there is a corset with her short shorts. It's a very interesting combination. She was also in the news this week because she begged her Tennessee senator to support the Equality Act, posted a letter to him on Instagram. Now she's kicking off Pride Month, which is June, and so it started yesterday. She showed up at the Wango Tango. That's just fun to say, the Wango Tango, in a fully rainbow outfit, and she performed at the iHeartRadio Wango Tango show in Los Angeles in the rainbow crop top jacket and matching high-waisted short shorts. The star's jacket featured hanging fringe material, also in rainbow colors. Her shorts had blue sparkle embellishments and a pink tie. She also wore a yellow shirt underneath the jacket. So she is bright. She is cheery. She is kicking off Pride in a big, big way. She also wore purple eyeliner and bright pink lipstick. So she did not shy away from color whatsoever. She in addition to asking her senator to support the Equality Act, which would protect LGBTQ plus people from discrimination in their workplace, houses, and other public places, Taylor also very generously donated to GLAAD, that's G-L-A-A-D, the company released in a statement. Taylor Swift continues to use her platform to speak out against discrimination and create a world where everyone can live the life they love, GLAAD president and CEO Sarah Kate Ellis said. GLAAD is so thankful for her donation to support our advocacy efforts and for her ongoing work to speak out for what is fair, just, and LGBTQ inclusive. In today's divisive political and cultural climate, we need more allies like Taylor who send positive and uplifting messages to LGBTQ people everywhere. Previously, Taylor Swift had kept quiet about her political beliefs, but she has lately gotten more and more outspoken about her own ideologies. So here she is supporting Pride and supporting what she believes in. And you know, in addition to colorful and this crazy fun outfit, she's also backing up that action with contacting her senator, etc., being an advocate, making donations, doing all of those wonderful things that help her to be an ally. So happy Pride Month to all of the LGBT community, and be as fabulous as Taylor Swift in that outfit. That's my wish for you for this Pride Month, to be as fabulous as Taylor Swift is in that outfit, but also back up that fabulousness with advocacy and donations, voting, all of those great things to the causes that you believe in. One more music story for this first segment of the podcast. This time we turn to Beyonce, as so often happens in entertainment news. When in doubt, turn to Beyonce. And that is that she has shared new Lion King inspired pictures as Blue Ivy lip syncs Circle of Life. How adorable is that? She is fully embracing her next role as Queen of the Pride Lands in the upcoming update of The Lion King with one of her most regal looks yet. So she has posted pictures on Instagram to celebrate the upcoming Lion King, and it is Beyonce. It is Lion King. It is, wow. How to describe this? My goodness. Gold lame, lots and lots of gold lame. Giant lion across her torso, mane that looks like feathers. There's a cape aspect. There's gold lame shoes. It is pretty darn fabulous looking, and the cape thingy, whatever you want to call that. She's got it lifted up in one picture. It is very dramatic. Wow, it's really very dramatic. If you haven't seen this outfit, you should definitely go on Instagram and check it out because it is impressive. The video of Blue Ivy is adorable. She's lip syncing very dramatically and very, very, appropriately dramatically, I would say. There's also another picture of her. She's wearing African garb and she just looks very sweet and very adorable. The description of the outfit is that it is it has a gold sequin pattern of the suit, the bodysuit. There is a resplendent cape and then the embroidered lion's face on the bodice with an extravagant mane made of feathers. Beyonce will voice the part of Nala in the live-action remake of the Disney classic. So she has posted these pictures of herself in the jumpsuit and all of the gold lame. And there's I don't know, like 7 or 8 pictures or something, or maybe more, in this series, along with the video of Blue Ivy, and the outfit is amazing. It really is. It is so Beyonce and over the top. Really, I don't know how you could get better than that. I couldn't pull that look off, that's for darn sure. But then also, nobody has asked me to be the voice of Nala in the upcoming Lion King. So clearly, I don't need the outfit because nobody's asked me to be the voice of Nala. More's the pity. That's okay. Beyonce will do a great job, and the video is adorable, and the outfit is amazing. So go check out that post on Instagram. We are going to take our first break of the podcast. When we come back, we will be talking about some news from the Star Wars universe. Before we take that quick break, though, I do want to talk to you once again about Care of, that vitamin subscription service that we've been talking about, the vitamin service that delivers vitamins directly to your door. If you go to takecareof.com and take their easy quiz, 5-minute easy quiz, with summer coming and people thinking about their health and their bodies and, being outside and soaking up all that wonderful sunshine, etc. This might be a time to think about your vitamin and your supplement regimen. So takecareof.com, take that quick quiz, and they will give you recommendations for what you should be taking, because the vitamin and supplement aisle, if you're anything like me, can be very, very overwhelming and confusing. I thought the quiz was easy. They asked great questions about my health goals, my nutrition goals, things that I might be concerned about, and then it gave me recommendations. They then sent me the personalized package, with my vitamins and my supplements. I have been taking the vitamins every day. It's been great. And they now have compostable packaging. So that is wonderful because you can not only take care of your own health needs, but also to help take care of the health needs of the planet. So if you are interested in learning more about their system and their products, just go to takecareof.com and take that quiz. Also, when you go, if you enter the promo code SOCIAL, SOCIAL, for a limited time only, you'll get 25% off of your first order. So again, go to takecareof.com, enter the promo code SOCIAL, and you'll get 25% off of your first order. When we come back, we will be talking about some news from the Star Wars world. So stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, and I will be right back.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now. Don't bother. What's hot on Netflix and everything in between. That's GSMCpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. We are talking about, obviously, entertainment news and events from around the different worlds of entertainment. We are switching our attention now to some Star Wars news. As you know, I am a big Star Wars fan. Loved it as a kid. I am enjoying all of the craziness of the new, everything that's happened from the original to the prequels to the television series to the new trilogy, etc., etc. It's all very, very interesting. But There was a reunion at Disneyland's Star Wars Galaxy's Edge between Star Wars co-stars Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford. Billy D. Williams was also there, along with franchise creator George Lucas. They attended the theme park Expansion Land's dedication ceremony this past Wednesday, alongside Disney CEO Bob Iger. This is a wholly Star Wars themed section of Disneyland Park. It now boasts the first ever full-scale replica of the Millennium Falcon. I want to go just for that. I mean, can you go on it? Can you sit in the... I want to. I want to go onto the full-scale replica of the Millennium Falcon. That may just send me to Disneyland. Both Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca, and Carrie Fisher, who played Princess Leia, were remembered by Hamill and Ford. And Hamill actually lamented earlier that there was no on-screen reunion between those three characters from the first movie, Han, Leia, and Luke, played by Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher. He lamented that there was not that on-screen reunion, and of course now there never will be because of Carrie Fisher's death and the way that the plot has taken over. I assume you've seen it, but I won't give things away if you haven't seen it. He said he thought it was a big mistake. He said, Luke's never going to see his best friend again. You look at it in a self-centered way, he told Den of Geek. I said that it was a big mistake that those three people would never reunite in any way. I guess I was wrong because nobody seems to care. I have to stipulate that I care, but it didn't really seem to affect the larger audience. Luke, Han, and Leia will never be together again, and I'll probably never get to work with Harrison again. I care. I would just like to point out that I care. I wanted to see those three together again. Yes, the new trilogy is about the next generation. I get that. But we couldn't have just had a brief reunion scene between all three of them. No, Luke had to be off brooding on some distant planet somewhere. Whatever. So he says that, the latest Star Wars trilogy and Galaxy's Edge both focus on the new generation, as it should be, he says. But he does. And he also said that he was disappointed that The Last Jedi writer Rian Johnson didn't pen a send-off for Luke and C-3PO, resulting in Hamill's improvising one. He said, they had me walking by 3PO, not even acknowledging him, Hamill said. I said, I can't do that. Johnson said, okay, go over and do whatever. So I went over and did whatever. They say it in the script. Forget the past, kill it if you have to. And they're doing a pretty good job. Doesn't sound like he's terribly happy with the way things turned out, but, well, it is what it is, I guess. I'm curious to see, what do you think of some of the changes, especially depending on your generation. If you are of the generation that saw all the original ones as a kid, how do you feel about this new trilogy? Do you feel like they did enough to tie up some of those loose ends and characters from the original trilogy, or do you think things are going just fine? If you are of the newer generation and maybe and didn't grow up watching them, maybe this is your first real experience with Star Wars, do you just feel like, whatever, get rid of the older generation, we don't care, bring on the new generation? I don't know. I'm curious. What do you think? But in other Star Wars news, we have a couple of Star Wars stories for this segment, because why not, right? Why not? I love Star Wars. Anyway, so Star Wars. Speaking of Star Wars and Disneyland's Galaxy's Edge, did you know that Star Wars costumes are not allowed in Galaxy's Edge? I am curious. The park has only been open for a handful of days now, allowing fans to get a completely immersive experience within the Star Wars universe. Some have noticed in recent days that comes with a pretty specific dress code. The official Disney Parks website states that the current Disneyland costume policy will be in place at Galaxy's Edge, meaning that any attendees over the age of 14 will not be allowed to wear costumes. Okay, so the headline seems a little bit misleading. So adult costumes will not be allowed. While some might interpret this rule as a pretty negative thing, especially considering the immersive nature of the park, there is some good justification for it, given the number of Disney cast members who are littered throughout the park, including some playing established characters like Kylo Ren, Rey, and Chewbacca. A guest wearing their own could theoretically pretend to be among them. This would potentially lead to some unsavory interactions with other guests, as well as break the overall illusion of the park. See, this makes sense to me. I mean, if they just said no costumes whatsoever, well, where's the fun in that? If you're a little kid, little kids want to wear their Disney princess dress to Disneyland. They want to wear their Buzz Lightyear outfit to Disneyland. Whatever it might be, they want to be a stormtrooper. They want to be Darth Vader. They want to be Chewbacca. They want to be Rey. Whatever, I get that. So it does make more sense that the ban is only for people older than 14. If you want to cosplay, Disneyland is not the place to do it if you're over 14. So you just need to go to a Comic-Con or some place where adult cosplay is encouraging. The notice does specify that Disney bounding is allowed, which means fans can wear an outfit of their own that is visually inspired by a certain character. This trend is called closet cosplaying, and it's become popular amongst Disney fans over the last few years, with quite a few creative Star Wars options coming about. So if you want to channel Chewbacca by wearing a furry coat or craft your own take on a Han Solo costume, you're more than welcome to. So you can be creative. You can do creative cosplay. You just can't dress in a way that's going to make you seem as though you are an employee of the park, because no good can come of that. I can just see all kinds of abuses happening with that sort of interaction, etc. Our final Star Wars related story for this section is about Solo, which is one of the standalone stories. It came from director Ron Howard. It did not do well at the box office, although frankly I enjoyed it and I was kind of looking forward to more of that story, but whatever, it didn't do well. So, but this story is about director Ron Howard explaining that he thinks aggressive trolling may have hurt the film. So Star Wars Solo, a Star Wars story, opened to positive reviews despite some massive problems behind the scenes, but it still underperformed, as we know, at the box office, making only $392 million. A figure which completely changed Disney's plans for the franchise and seemingly killed a number of spin-offs, including movies revolving around Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi. This story comes to us from News Fusion. And so now director Ron Howard, who replaced the original directors, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, has shared his thoughts on why he believes things didn't pan out particularly well for this particular movie. After noting that he thinks the movie's Memorial Day release didn't help it succeed from a financial standpoint, I'm just going to interject that I was very disappointed that it was a Memorial Day release and not a Christmas release like all the other Star Wars movies up until that point with this new franchise. Okay, so he didn't think that helped from a financial standpoint. Howard added, maybe it's the idea that it's too nostalgic, that going back and revisiting an origin story for a beloved character may not be what the fans were looking for. It seemed to me, looking at the opening, big but not as big as the others, I think that was only the hardcore fans. The drop-off tells you how many people were tag-alongs who need to wait to see what people think or if it's essential, if it's a zeitgeist movie or not. It didn't hit the zeitgeist for whatever reason. And then for the third reason he believes Solo failed, he puts it down to aggressive trolling. He says not so much the Twitter feed, but it was a notable prior to the release of the movie in several of the algorithms, whether it was Metacritic or Rotten Tomatoes. There was an inordinate push down on the want to see and on the fan voting. Some friends from Silicon Valley explained to me how it works. Under that circumstance, I did not take it personally at all, but I felt badly. So, what do you think? Do you think it was just a bad movie? Do you think it was not right for the franchise? Do you think the release was wrong? What do you think? Do you think there's some merit in what he's saying, or was it just not the right movie at the right time, etc.? As I said, I enjoyed it. I would have watched the follow-up story for it. The actor who played Han Solo was not Harrison Ford. And again, growing up with Harrison Ford, that was difficult, although I thought Danny Glover was amazing as a young Lando Calrissian, but I enjoyed the backstory, and it was kind of fun to see some of Han's backstory that led him to where he was when I knew him as a kid. But not everyone thought that, and the movie did not do well. So, as I said, it changed the course of the plans for more solo stories. I meant standalone stories and backstories. At any rate, we are going to take our second break of the podcast. When we come back, some more celebrity news. So stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast, and I will be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. So we've talked about, we talked about Star Wars in the last segment. We talked about some music-related news in the first segment. And now we are talking about some more general entertainment news in terms of movies and celebrities, starting with the news that, in fact, Robert Pattinson has been confirmed as the new Batman. And a new image has come out showing him as Bruce Wayne. Some people are excited about this. Some people are not so excited about this. It'll be interesting to see. When I hear the name Robert Pattinson, it used to be that I thought, oh, Cedric Diggory, that's nice, from Harry Potter. And then all I could think of was Sparkly Vampire in the angsty series of the Twilight movies. But now he has been officially hired to take on the role, of Bruce Wayne, of course, also known as Batman, in the upcoming film directed by Matt Reeves. And this new movie is simply called The Batman, and there is new images of Robert Pattinson in that role. So the casting of Robert Pattinson came as a surprise to many, almost as surprising as Ben Affleck's exit from the role after playing the Caped Crusader. Although Robert Pattinson had been a rumored contender amongst many others, including Ansel Elgort, Dylan O'Brien, Logan Lerman, Noah Centineo, Jack O'Connell, Kit Harington, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Robert Madden, and Armie Hammer. It ultimately came down to Robert Pattinson and Nicholas Hoult, with Robert Pattinson then landing the role. And so I am just curious what your thoughts are on this. Plot details for the film are still under wraps, so we will see. The project does seem to be centered on a younger Caped Crusader, which would make sense. I mean, Robert Pattinson is quite a bit younger than Ben Affleck. So it seems to be centered on a younger Caped Crusader as he tackles several of his more traditional enemies, such as the Penguin and Catwoman. I saw also that Vanessa Hudgens is set to play Catwoman, and it looks like Jim Carrey is replacing Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. So what do you think of all these new casting announcements? How do you feel about the Batman franchise in general? Maybe you're not even a DC fan and you're like, yeah, just give me Marvel, whatever. But curious to see what you think. I'm not sure. I mean, in the picture, he definitely looks like he definitely looks like a good Bruce Wayne, so we'll see. There's been some very odd choices for Batman over the years. I love Michael Keaton, but I thought that was an odd choice. So we'll just see what Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne / Batman looks like and how that turns out. In other celebrity news, and this time in parenting kind of news, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner, speaking of Ben Affleck a little bit, were seen together recently going into church together with baskets. The friendly exes and co-parents were spotted heading into church together this morning with their children, who were not pictured, in Pacific Palisades, California. The two arrived separately but headed in together with covered baskets to share with fellow parishioners. So, hey, I always appreciate stories about people who seem to be co-parenting in healthy ways. And while, you can't make too many assumptions just from a couple walking into church together, you can at least hope that they are doing well for their kids in terms of co-parenting. And it does sound like they are fairly friendly. So we wish them luck. And, hey, at least they're doing things together as a family. In other news, HGTV's Chip and Joanna Gaines complete a weekend business course at Harvard with Ciara and other stars. Okay, that's interesting. They celebrated their 16th wedding anniversary on Friday and apparently did so by taking a business course at Harvard. Sure. Every couple celebrates differently. The HGTV pair took part in a 4-day Harvard Business School, although they're not on HGTV anymore, right? Aren't they on a new network? Doesn't matter. That's where most people know them from. But they took part in a 4-day Harvard Business School course known as BEMS alongside Ciara. As Joanna joked that Chip would get her vote for class president, I would vote for Chip as class clown. Come on, he'd probably make a fine class president, but I would definitely vote for him for class clown. So, interesting way to spend your anniversary weekend. Other people there included NBA stars Julius Randle and, oh my goodness, Luke Mbah-a-Moute. So sorry I butchered that name. German soccer star Oliver Kahn, NCIS actor Eric Olsen. Joanna is quoted as saying on social media, "What we witnessed this week at Harvard HBS was human beings at their very finest. 85 people from all around the world, from all different walks of life, with different cultural backgrounds, religions, political beliefs, and professions. We learned from one another and spoke into each other's lives, sometimes challenging but always valuing every perspective. Not a single one of us were alike, and yet by doing something as simple as listening to and respecting one another, we were challenged and made better. Thankful for this opportunity." At Anita E. Elburse, "Your leadership and your passion caused grown, busy adults to think with curiosity about our own businesses and about the world around us. Oh, and one more thing. I know I might be biased, but I'd like to officially cast my vote for Chip as class prez." And she hashtagged it Chip for prez and hashtag BEMS. Yeah, I love Chip, but definitely class clown. although I'm sure he's smarter than he sometimes brings himself off to be, as silly as he sometimes is. So they celebrated their anniversary. They went on this 4-day Harvard business course, and it sounds like there was a good group of people there. So, hey, good for them. Good for all the other folks who were there, including Ciara, some other actors, some other sports figures, etc. And apparently they're not the first A-listers to take the course, as alumni include rapper/actor LL Cool J, former Miami Heat teammates Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, and actors Channing Tatum and Katie Holmes. So this sounds like it is a popular course among a lot of different professional type people. And I did mention that they are on a new network. They Home renovation stars Chip and Joanna will launch their own cable network next summer, and it will replace Discovery's Do-It-Yourself network, which it currently airs in more than 52 million homes in the U.S. The Fixer Upper stars will serve as chief creative officers, and HGTV's current president, Allison Page, will be president of the new network, according to Deadline. The channel's content will include long-form programming about community, home, garden, food, wellness, and design. It will also include the complete library of Fixer Upper, which first premiered on HGTV in 2013 and was one of the top-rated series on that network during its first 4 years on air. So, happy anniversary to Chip and Joanna, and it sounds like they spent a good weekend learning new stuff, so can't fault them for that. At any rate, it is time to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for joining me on this somewhat breathless episode of the GSMC Entertainment Podcast. Hope you have a great week ahead of you, and join me next time.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.